My number 4 is also from the newer school towards the end. That was a stunner. Stone Cold Stunner. So what was great about his move, that it was really quick and it could happen at any time.
Bitch.
He could drop it outside, inside. He could drop it on your mother or your sister, anybody, and then drink a beer, and then he'd be out of there.
He once did a Stone Cold Stunner on Linda McMahon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He did on Vince McMahon, I'm sure.
Yeah, he did it on the
dropped some
on
beers,
one night.
and he out of the stadium.
On one night, he did it on the entire McMahon family. I thought he was going to find a McMahon baby somewhere. A Stone Cold
exactly.
Stunner. Right?
That's what was awesome about it. I think that was fun. It was fun to watch, and the fact that you didn't know when it was coming, like it could happen at the beginning, at the end, on the walkway in. Who knows?
Here's the funny thing: we did not coordinate this, but this is the second one we agree on. Number 4 on my list.
Oh, really?
Stone Cold Stunner. That's a little bit newer school for me, right?
Yeah.
But that's a badass move. You know something's badass when you know you don't want it to happen to you.
Yeah.
Like that, man, that's Stone Cold Stunner. I feel like my neck hurts looking at that thing, right?
Or your hair's gonna pop off.
Yeah.
Like you hit your shoulder. Number 3, and this was an old school one, and it was not the original Elbow from the Sky, but it was my generation's Elbow from the Sky. That was Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Bitch.
My favorite part in all this is every time Jesus says bitch.
And it always seemed like, I actually did some research and went back and looked at some of the old video. They don't jump that high. But when you're watching it as a kid, you're like, shit, that guy got high. He jumped really high and he dropped the elbow straight on your chest.
Yeah, well, this is really funny and weird. Number 3, Elbow from the Sky.
Yeah.
Okay, you might have thought watching the Young Turks that it would be number 1, right? Because I always talk about Elbow from the Sky. But I'll explain that later. But for the moment being, elbow, it's derivative. It's Macho Man is the guy who did the Elbow from the Sky. And so it was awesome, and I love that he went on the top rope. I love that he dropped it. But there's a reason why it's number 3.
Number 2 for me is Undertaker, and he did the Tombstone.
Bitch.
Go to sleep. What I liked the appeal of the Undertaker for me was, as I was growing up, I had this, I guess, a grunge goth feeling when I was growing up as a teen. You're like,
I really wish you hadn't told me.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I wish I didn't share it. But anyways, I'm just keeping it real. It was kind of fun to see when he would take all the lights out of the stadium, and then he would walk in. It's like death is coming in, and then he would also, while he's fighting, he would just never go down, and then he'd pop up like a corpse. You know,
Yeah.
so that was fun. And then he would grab you and drop the tombstone on you. And then he would pin you like a coffin. He'd put your hands over your chest and then do the count.
That's true. And you know, Hogan didn't have a good finishing move, but the greatest thing I look forward to towards the end, as you were saying with the Undertaker, is like when they'd put him on a sleeper move or something, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, yeah.
2, and on the third one, what? Lord, here comes Hogan.
Right.
Now, speaking of which, my number 2, the sleeper move. Oh, not only did I practice this on my friends, I actually knocked one of them out.
Awesome.
Unconscious. And I thought he was playing with me, and I let him go, and he fell on the concrete and hit his head.
Wait. Did you pin him after at least? Did you get at least a 3 count?
No, I put his hands in.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with the sleeper move. I thought it was the coolest thing, and I always wondered if it was real. And that day when I knocked my friend out, I was like, holy shit, it's real! You cut off the oxygen, which, by the way, is pretty dangerous.
Yeah,
right? Don't do it, right?
Imagine doing that now.
But I know, but you know,
imagine how much trouble you'd get.
Oh, I know. But like when as a kid, you like fantasize about doing all these moves, right? And I always thought like, well, if I get in a situation where I don't really want to hurt anybody, but I got to get this guy under control, I'll put the sleeper move on him.
I'm sure it'd be that easy too.
Right.
Like the guy would just walk into your sleeper hold and.
No. Because one of my moves when I actually fought kids, I used to get into a lot of fights when I was younger, was go-to moves, the headlock. At some point, you're going to wrestle. And once I get somebody in a headlock, it's hard to get out. I once had a kid in a headlock for like 30 minutes until he gave up. Okay, so it's conceivable that I could have switched it around. Oh, sleeper! But in my case, the guy, oh God,
I'm gone. Passing out.
God, passing out.
All right, my number one. It's an awesome one because it's my number one, and it was from the epitome of the steroids era in wrestling, which is still going obviously. But it was the Ultimate Warrior, and you could tell he was on fucking steroids every time he was wrestling. And he came in a rage, and he would pick you up over his head, and just take a step forward and just drop you behind him.
That's badass.
And then run back and forward, and he just body slam.
Yeah. The body slam I never loved. It's a little weak.
But you know what was cool was the lifting. So that
Yeah.
actually takes steroid strength, you know?
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior was on bath salts before bath salts was
Totally. He was on a lot of things, I'm sure.
cool. Yeah, lifting and dropping was definitely excellent. My number one, and the one I must have done a million times and broken a million beds with, is the original elbow from the
Yeah.
sky. It's Jimmy, Superfly Snuka, off the top rope. He gets up there, he does this, and he goes, 169, and jumps, and you got to hit with the chest, okay?
Yeah.
This is funny. I used to do that all the time, like off the corner of the bed, onto the bed, and I've literally broken 3 or 4 beds that way. I'm not kidding. And one time we had done it in a rental, and that we went back to like 20 years later. It was like a timeshare kind of thing, right? We got the same house, the same bed, it was still broken. That I broke with the Snuka off the top rope maybe 15 years earlier. So it doesn't get any better
Luckily,
than Snuka.
I mean, for my move, I was never able to do that because I was such a skinny kid. There's no way I was able to pick anybody up and lift them over my head. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people tried it on me, so that was fun to try it.
But
But they didn't actually drop me. So that
I was going to say, that sounds a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'd Snuka each other all the time. If you were, anywhere where somebody could jump off the top rope onto you. And look, the thing with Snuka is, like you were talking about how they didn't get that high. Snuka did it off the
But
cage.
have you seen it now? Do some research on YouTube and you're like, it doesn't seem that high.
No, but,
But
he
back
did it in a
then, you're
cage
like,
match,
yeah.
dude, where he was like 20 million feet in the air. He jumped off like the Empire State Building and did it.
All right.
Okay, so Snuka's the real deal. That's why he's number one.
It's a video of someone getting hit in the face, which is great for YouTube airwaves. Okay, you saw it? Yeah.